All right, guys, so here we go. The President of the United States has COVID-19. About 1 a.m. this morning, the President tweeted out that he and First Lady Melania had tested positive for COVID-19. I want to say on the outskirts that, one, I wish the President a speedy recovery. This is going to be quick. Two, I wish the First Lady a speedy recovery. I'm thankful that Barron, by all accounts, has been shielded from this. He tested negative, which is a really good thing. I hope that these next 14 days for the president is going to be 14 days of reflection. Reflection on the 200 plus thousand lives that have been lost because of his recklessness, because of him politicizing something as simple as wearing a mask. Because make no mistake, had the president had on a mask, he would not have contracted the virus, right? Had he had on a mask, right? Because in his situation, if you look back on it, it was a social distancing situation, right? Unless Melania contracted it from somebody and then gave it to him. What would be, the point is that even if it wouldn't have prevented it, it would have significantly lowered his chances and the opportunity for the virus to strike him. But instead, as recently as Tuesday night at the debates, he continued to make fun of the idea of wearing a mask in order to protect yourself. So now that he's actually suffering, we don't know how serious his symptoms are. The White House is saying that his symptoms are mild, but he's obese, he's over 60, he's not healthy, he doesn't eat well, and that's well documented. So if in fact his symptoms are mild, there is a strong possibility that they could get worse. But the difference between the President of the United States and the 200,000 people that we've lost, the 7 million people that have been infected in this country, is that he has the best of the best in terms of health experts around him. So his stupidity is not going to affect him the way that it's going to affect everybody else that's following his orders to not wear a mask and fighting with the Walmart people about not wearing a mask. Just the silliest thing I've ever heard in my life. Side note here, the RNC chairwoman has also tested positive, who was also with Trump this week. 2 other congressmen have tested positive. And then Mark Meadows, the freaking chief of staff, was again in the White House today, even after the president's coronavirus diagnosis, COVID-19 diagnosis, in the White House without a mask. So it looks like the Republican Party is still perpetuating this partisan approach to wearing a mask, even as the president is right now quarantining with mild symptoms, as is the First Lady. Same old game. The president will come off the campaign trail for 14 days. Joe Biden will continue on the campaign trail as he and his running mate Kamala Harris and both their spouses tested, Senator Kamala Harris, and both their spouses tested negative for coronavirus. Now, I hope that people can, a long time ago, normal, rational people would make the distinction. These people wore a mask, they're negative. These people didn't wear a mask, they're positive. If I want to be negative, I should probably do what these people are doing. Wear a mask. But this is 2020, where the truth is a lie, the lie is the truth. What you see right in front of your eyes is not there. Everything's a conspiracy theory, as I heard this morning, Charlemagne the God perpetuating the idea that this is all a hoax and President Trump is doing this for sympathy or trying to get posted. Look, the man didn't follow the CDC guidelines. The man didn't wear a mask, and so he got the virus. This stuff is not brain surgery, guys. I know we love for everything to be a conspiracy theory, but it ain't. Wear a freaking mask. Not only are you protecting yourself, but you're protecting everybody else around you. Because as we learned this morning, 3 other people and counting that were surrounded by the president last week or this week have also tested positive. This isn't conspiracy theory stuff, guys. It is what it is. Put on a mask and save lives, period. It's not a slogan. It's not a tagline. It's 2020. The real deal. This is life. Put on a mask. I think it's a good time to talk about succession because, as the Speaker of the House said this morning, the show will go on. Whether or not Trump recovers or whether he doesn't recover. Again, I'm a Christian, God-fearing man. I pray that he recovers speedily. I don't wish death on anybody. Ain't my place. But the good Lord has the final say-so. And if, in fact, he should either become incapacitated or, God forbid, die, I just want people to understand, one, that it would throw our government into mayhem. That's number one. Number two, the good thing is that all of this is spelled out in the Constitution. The show will, in fact, go on. If the vice president becomes ill and incapacitated, the show will still go on. Nancy Pelosi, second in line for the presidency after the president, will be sworn in as president of the United States if, in fact, something were to happen to the vice president of the United States. And the reason why I go so far as the Speaker of the House being sworn in as president of the United States, because the Trump campaign has actually said that they are not going to be removing Mike Pence from the campaign trail, that he will continue to campaign, which is very strange, right? Because I don't know if everybody knows this, but whenever there's a big event or something like the State of the Union, you know, everybody wants to come to the State of the Union. If you notice, the entire cabinet is there at the State of the Union, minus one. There's always one cabinet member that cannot go to big events like the State of the Union because, God forbid, if something catastrophic were to happen in that one space where that event is being held, there is always going to be what they call a designated survivor. And so that's kind of the same concept that normally people have with the president and the vice president. They try to kind of keep them apart, not really put them in the same place at the same time. Because if something were to happen to the president, we would want the vice president to be healthy and ready to take the oath of office right away. So it really just shows the immaturity and the expediency of this administration, the fact that they are throwing Mike Pence out there on the campaign trail while, yeah, I mean, he tested negative, but I mean, it just doesn't make sense that at this point of national security vulnerability that they have the vice president out there on the campaign trail exposing himself to COVID-19, even as the president lays quarantine with mild symptoms, according to the White House, of the virus. It's just not smart. If there were a situation where the president is alive but incapacitated, meaning he's so sick that he's on a ventilator, which is not unusual for somebody his age, somebody his size, somebody with his health conditions. He's on a ventilator, he can't talk, he can't think for himself. That is also in the Constitution, and we have what is called the 25th Amendment, where the entire cabinet can get together, and I think it's 2/3 of the president's cabinet can actually relinquish power from the president, and then it would go to Mike Pence. Or the president can say himself, look, I can't do this, I'm too sick, and in that case, the reins of power would still, again, go to Mike Pence. So I don't know why they have Mike Pence out there exposing himself to this virus, even as the president laid sick, mildly sick, but sick. So I think that's really all that I'm going to say about this. Wear a mask is important. This isn't a game, guys. I mean, I know we're all tired. We all have been doing this for 6, 7, 8 months now. It's getting old. But, you know, things are opening up. People are starting to go out more, and that's great. But protect yourselves. Protect yourselves. Don't let politicians, because look, Trump is going to have the finest doctors surrounding him at every second on the minute. Us, regular folks, we don't have that, you know? So all of those Trump supporters out there who think not wearing a mask isn't important, or wearing a mask isn't important because Trump told you, always remember, first, he's rich. Second, he's the president of the United States. He can afford. Well, we'll see. But you know, if I had the best doctors around me, you know, and I was trying to win an election, no, I wouldn't do that. But I could see how that could be enticing to make it a political, partisan issue, the whole mask thing, because I know if something were to happen to me, I'd be taken care of, as the president of the United States normally is. So, yeah, I think that's it, guys. Just protect yourselves. Pray for the first family. And pray for Joe Biden. Pray for our elected officials. As I said before, we're still counting the number of people within the government who have contracted the virus. Yeah, this is Twilight shit. This is some weird shit. In the words of George W. Bush, this is some weird shit. But anyway, I'll see you guys on the next reaction video. I just wanted to address that and talk about succession, and talk about what would happen if, in fact, something were to happen to the president. And there you go. I'll catch you guys on the rebound.